Friends and subscribers, news that happened late summer in Florida, United States. This story actually is more than a month old here, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention anyway. Thousands of silver coins discovered in condemned St. Cloud, Florida house. Now, what's interesting about this is that the home was condemned because the homeowner had tax liability. And the first thing that authorities did after searching the home was find the gold and silver coins and seize them. Now, these hoard of silver and gold coins in the thousands and dating back through late 1800s through early 1900s here were seized, and the homeowner has no means of getting those coins back, despite the fact that they could pay the tax liability through other means, including selling the property, the lot. Now, if you see here, these coins here, some of them are in very good condition, although the authorities are valuing the coins and going to liquidate them at only $20 per ounce equivalent, US dollar. And that's a real pity for the homeowner, since the numismatic value of most of these coins is far beyond that, even not being certified. But as you can imagine, to have your gold and silver taken away from you and used against a tax liability, and not having the ability, of course, to choose how to pay your tax liability is a real shame. And it's something you should be aware of. Now, this is happening more and more often around the world, being seized from your property without any way to fight back, so to speak. Police seizure of motorists' cash on rise, netting $2.5 billion since 9/11. Ever since the War on Terror was announced, $2.5 billion have been seized just from motorists alone in petty cash and other valuables. Municipalities around the country of the United States are going after anything they can get to help bring in revenue for their municipalities, which many of them are in debt. No surprise, it's all about the money. And you should see a lot more of this going forward, and it's not just happening in the United States, it's happening around the world. Gold smuggling into India hits new record highs. This is simply at Delhi International Airport. There have been 392 cases of smuggling since September 1st of last year, with more than 380 kilos of gold seized so far. That is a huge increase. And as I've said before, the more that governments try to clamp down on ownership of real assets like gold and silver, the more people are going to try other means of getting a hold of those. Now, since the markets are manipulated and governments are restricting it, we have no free market and price discovery for people to own these metals. It's creating a black market, and crime is picking up. Also, in western India, key suspects picked up here just a few days ago, and they are guilty, or will be held guilty, in murder. And what were they after? Well, you guessed it, gold and silver. The two suspects were caught, and they seized 6 kilos of gold, 40 kilos of silver, and they were looking primarily for these assets. And again, I think the government of India is liable in this case, because they've created a black market and created the crime problem of smuggling and murder and thievery, because they simply won't allow Indians to speak with their wallets and have a free market for them to buy gold and silver rather than other forms of investments. 15 kilos of gold seized at another Indian airport, and these 120 gold bars were wrapped up like chocolate bars. When you go to Hong Kong, you see many Indian tourists there, and they're there, of course, to buy gold to bring back to India. You can see it on the bangles on the Indian ladies' arms. They buy it, they put it on, they bring it back, impossible to count how many bangles of gold each one is wearing when they come and go from India, because it is a personal jewelry, and that is how they're doing it in part. So what's going on also in Florida here? Adrian Wiley, Florida's Libertarian candidate for governor, has some unique views, and these views are more and more popular throughout the United States. One of the things he proposes is that he wants to fully legalize marijuana and convert the state to a kind of gold standard, and allow Florida residents to pay their taxes and bills in gold or silver coins. In other words, compete with the US dollar. This may or may not work out for him as a candidate. It's remaining to be seen, if he did become governor, how far he can get with this kind of legislation. But more and more secession movements and more libertarian ideals are flooding into the conscience of American people.